Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here, and today we're looking at the evolution of Funky Kong. Before we begin, if you guys do enjoy this video, please like and subscribe because we're so close to 100. Anyways, on to the video. Funky Kong is mostly known for how popular he is in Mario Kart Wii. Why Nintendo didn't put him in Mario Kart 8 is a mystery to me, but anyways. While he is mainly known for that, I think it's important to see how he evolved from when he was first born in 1994. In Donkey Kong Country, Funky is the owner of Funky's Flights, a rental service where he allows Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong to use his Funky Barrel to travel between worlds that they have either accessed or completed. In both the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance remakes, Funky hosts the Funky Fishing minigame, where the Kong's objective is to catch as many fish within the time limit. This game is pretty fun, so we owe Funky a thanks for that. While Funky Kong is a convenient transportation service, he doesn't really do anything apart from him being in the ending scene with the main characters. He doesn't really get a big role in this game, which is sad to see. Funky Kong returns in Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. He hosts another flight service, Funky's Flights 2, in every world except the Lost World. Funky allows Diddy and Dixie to use the biplane barrel if they pay 2 banana coins, although every trip after the first one are free. In the original Super Nintendo version, Funky is shown to surf in midair with his hoverboard. In the Game Boy Advance version, Funky hosts a bonus game, Funky's Flights, in each world of the game. In the same version, Funky also appears with the gyrocopter in the ending, and he rescues Diddy, Dixie, Donkey Kong, and Cranky from the flying croc before it crashes into the ground. In the 102% ending, Funky drops a bomb onto Captain K. Rool from the gyrocopter to stop him from escaping. While Funky Kong does a little more while in the cutscenes, he is really only there to serve as a transportation service. Funky Kong has some cooler challenges in this game, but nothing really changed. In Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, Funky has a larger role than in the previous two games. He operates Funky's rentals from the Northern Cremisphere, where he allows Dixie and Diddy to rent various watercraft to travel across the waters of the Northern Cremisphere. At first, the motorboat was the only vehicle that Funky had available. As the Kongs obtain certain items along the way, Funky can use them to construct a few more vehicles, each one more powerful than the previous. At the start of the game, Dixie must visit Funky, who gives Kitty to her, and uses the motorboat. As Dixie and Kitty progress through the game, they can gain various items to give them to Funky, who will use them to create more powerful vehicles and use to reach new locations. After completing the Kremwood Forest, the Kongs obtain the patch, which they can take to Funky for him to create the hovercraft. After completing the Cotton Top Cove and Mykonos, the Kongs return to the skis to Funky Kong for him to create the Turbo Ski. If the Kongs bring every DK coin to Funky, he allows them to use the gyrocopter. In the Game Boy Advance remake, Funky hosts a service of 4 minigames. If the Kongs complete each one, Funky rewards them with a banana bird. It is really good to see Funky Kong have larger roles in the game. The Kong family is almost in constant contact with him, making him much more commonly seen. And who doesn't love more Funky Kong? In Donkey Kong 64, oh my god. Funky operates a weapon store, Funky's Store, in every level except the Hideout Helm. He first sells a shooter to each respective Kong for when they first visit. In later levels, Funky also sells 2 ammo belt upgrades, a sniper scope, and the ability to pick up homing ammo. Each time the Kongs are low on ammo, right before a Kong leaves the store, Funky refills their ammo supply entirely. This role makes Funky Kong essential to the Kong family. After defeating King K. Crusher Rool at the boxing arena, Candy walks in and distracts him. Meanwhile, Funky walks in and fires a boot at K. Rool, knocking him up through the ceiling of the arena. During the end credits, Funky mimics the sounds of some weapons such as aerial bombs and machine guns on a cliff, then does some acrobatics. Seeing Funky Kong launch a boot at King K. Rool is hilarious, but there's obviously a big issue with him. I mean, just look at that disgusting mess of a character model. I understand that this was early 3D, but geez, he's ugly. After 6 years of not appearing in games, Funky Kong returns in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze as the owner of the item shop, named Funky's Flying By. The game's Nintendo Switch port marks the first time Funky Kong is a playable character in the main series, as he is playable via the new Funky mode, which is catered towards beginner players. When selected in Funky mode, Funky Kong replaces Donkey Kong as the main playable character. His abilities are a combination of Diddy, Dixie, and Cranky, and are aided by his surfboard, include double jumping, hovering, and treading on spiked floors, and surfing on water in a similar fashion to water skipping. He can perform perpetual roll attacks and corkscrews as well. In addition, he wears a yellow pair of goggles with a snorkel when he plunges underwater, enabling him to breathe without having to collect air bubbles. Lastly, Funky's surfboard enables him to safely jump on enemies that the other Kongs except Cranky cannot safely jump on, such as the Snaggles. Funky Kong is a playable character. After years of waiting, Funky Kong is finally put into the game as a main playable character. This is a great way to put him in. Finally, Funky Kong is given justice in the main series and not just Mario Kart Wii. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Funky Kong in a main series game since then. Hopefully he will appear in the next Mario Kart and continue to be a playable character in the new Donkey Kong Country games. If you guys did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.